Scott, we've been wondering what's going on with the Switch 2, and details are slowly starting to trickle out a little bit, but not because of Nintendo themselves, but because of, well, a peripheral firm claims Switch 2 Joy-Cons use electromagnetic suction, have extra buttons as well.
Oh no, extra buttons. I don't know how Nintendo designs controllers.
Yeah, man, that 64 controller, still one of the most unique controllers I think I've ever experienced. Chris Scullion over at VGC. Switch peripheral maker MobaPad claims to have new information on the Switch 2, particularly with regards to its controllers. The Chinese company, which specializes in making Switch controllers, claims to have, quote, acquired a lot of first-hand information about the Switch 2, end quote, as it makes preparations to start creating third-party controllers for Nintendo's next system. So do they actually work with them, Scott? Because if you announce that you're coming out with this detailed information, your relationship's probably over with Nintendo. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you don't really get a good advancement doing things like that, leaking things.
No.
Although Walmart Canada still works with Ubisoft, so
fair.
sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. According to a new post on MobaPad's blog, the Joy-Cons on the new system will be larger than those on the current Switch, and will use magnetic suction instead of the existing sliding rail technology. Scott, how do you feel about the current Joy-Cons?
My only issue with the Joy-Cons ever, and this has happened to me with 3 Switches, so I don't think it's me.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is, but let me know, please. The left Joy-Con won't connect to the console. So, like, I can't play it in handheld mode is really what the result is. It's awful.
Interesting. Really? I always find now mine are just old now that just like they slide off, right? Like it's so easy to, yeah, so they slide in, but when they click, and that now it just kind of like pops off. I'm like, oh man, yeah, hard to play that way. This follows similar claims from Spanish games website Vandal last week, claiming that the controllers would attach to the console magnetically, though not providing any information on how this would work. However, MobaPad says it will be achieved using electromagnetic suction technology controlled by electric current. This may refer to electropermanent magnetic technology, which is a form of suction in which an extremely powerful magnet is controlled with a single electrical pulse. A single pulse can turn the magnet on, creating a very strong latch, and another pulse can then turn it off, releasing the grip. Interesting. Because this technology only requires single pulses to turn the magnet on and off, if MobaPad's claims are accurate, then this method requires practically no power and therefore will not drain the Switch 2's battery, which is a wonderful thing, isn't it, Scott?
It is. I'm really scratching my head at this technology.
Yeah, me too a little bit. My biggest thing is, dude, I don't want another Joy-Con. I want a controller, right? Like this is kind of, I'm spoiled with the Portal, the PlayStation Portal. Dude, it is literally a controller in my hand, right? With the screen in the middle. And I'm hoping that the Joy-Cons are a little bit similar, but I got a feeling that they're not.
Well, if they're making it bigger, seems like step one for that to solve that problem.
Yeah, absolutely, right? MobaPad's report also claims that the existing Joy-Cons will still be able to connect to the Switch 2 wirelessly, suggesting that even if they can't be attached to the device, they can still connect as extra controllers, multiplayer games, for example. It also says that Joy-Cons have extra buttons. Joining the L/R and the ZL/ZR buttons will be a third pair of buttons, while the right Joy-Con will feature an extra function button below the home button. Finally, it suggests the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with physical and digital Switch games. Scott, right there, I am shocked. Nobody likes to sell you the same game numerous times like Nintendo.
Actually, yeah, I was about to get out in front of you and go, hold on now. The Game Boy, though. The Game Boy was forward compatible for its entire life cycle over like 2 decades. But you're right, though. Nintendo will generally wall off different segments so they can sell it to you again.
Absolutely. The new handheld will support 1080p resolution, and that the new dock will support 4K resolution. I'm shocked that we're getting 4K out of this. Are you?
I think this is meant to be a signal. hey, we can do 4K, guys. Everybody, I want you to know it ahead of time. Nintendo's trying to be a little more serious with this console now. This will be able to, hopefully, well, that's what this tells me. It tells me that this is going to be a little bit stronger. Maybe able to run Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, right. VGC reported in February that Nintendo had internally delayed the launch of its next-gen console from this year to 2025, in early 2025. One publishing source suggested the delay was so that it could prepare stronger first-party software for the console, while others have claimed that the move was made to avoid potential hardware supply issues. VGC has also reported last summer the development kits for Switch 2 were in the hands of key partner studios. Two sources VGC spoke with at the time suggested the console could launch with an LCD screen instead of a more premium OLED screen, which, Scott, will be the next model to come down the line so that they can sell you the Switch 2 again. I'm calling it right now. That's what they're going to do.
Yep.
I do like, though, that we are getting to this 4K option, this opportunity now, where it does maybe feel like Nintendo is a little bit, hey, you know what? We're here to play too, not just over on the one side, but we are there somewhat competitive when we are talking with PlayStation and Xbox, right? Where right now some of the games look over there absolutely stunning, dude. Like, they are beautiful looking, and you can't really pull that off right now with the current Switch. Switch 1 comes out, dude, is already consoles behind, right? Switch 2, I'm hoping, is a little bit more in line with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S. If they align themselves to be with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, that's a problem.
Yeah, it is, but I think they really have to catch up to everybody and kind of hang with the rest of the crew, because otherwise you're going to lose that AAA support.
Yep.
If these AAA studios, you make it too expensive and they're not going to sell these copies on that console because it's too expensive to make, and there's different, concessions you have to make, then it's not going to be good for anybody, and Nintendo will just fade out. And although Nintendo carries itself really strong with a first-party support, I think it still needs that third-party support.
It needs something to be able to say, hey, Ubisoft can now run Assassin's Creed Red on the Switch 2, right?
Ooh,
like,
that's a big one.
It is big, right? Is that
but
possible?
It really needs to.
It does. It needs to have not only the first-party support, but the third-party support too. Maybe Nintendo is your only console of choice, but then you're missing out on other games because some of the bigger titles just can't run on the Switch right now, right? So if Switch 2 is more compatible, then here's your opportunity.
But Call of Duty is supposed to be able to run on Nintendo systems thanks to Xbox. They're getting a little bit of a boost there.
I don't know, man. Time will tell. I'm very curious to see how Nintendo lines up the Switch 2 when it comes to competing with PlayStation and with Xbox. And if it can run Call of Duty, maybe we're finally there. But you should be over at ITGTV.com to keep up with everything we do over there.